Good afternoon, everyone. This is Olga Redding with the Iowa Organic Association. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for joining us with the webinar on Organic Certification Cost Share Program. I have Amanda Wiegel with Farm Service Agency. She will be presenting on this particular topic. But what we'll do initially is we'll go ahead and get started. I'll actually present on IOA and what we do. I have about 5 slides I'll share with you guys first. And then after that, Amanda will take over. She will do her presentation. During her presentation, feel free to type in your questions in the chat. And what I'll do when she's done with her presentation, I'll just ask her those questions. However, during the Q&A portion of the event, that will be about 10 minutes or so at the end of the event, feel free to unmute yourself, put yourself on camera if you'd like, and ask those questions directly. You are welcome to do that. So we'll go ahead and then get started. All righty. Okay, so I'll go ahead and get started, you guys. Hopefully you are where you want to be. You are at the Iowa Organic Association Organic Certification Cost Share Program webinar, but I'll tell you about IOA. We have been established in 2006, and we are a statewide nonprofit organization committed to organic education, advocacy, and community cooperation. Our mission is to advance organic agriculture in Iowa. Our members represent a diverse community of Iowa's organic farmers, gardeners, food and farm businesses, advocates, and consumers who are champions for the organic movement. As far as our priorities, we have 4 overarching priorities. They're listed right here. Education, outreach, advocacy, and community. And I'll touch a little bit on all of them. As far as education is concerned, we provide programs, expertise, and information to help expand and diversify organic opportunities in Iowa. Earlier this year in February, we conducted the Growing Organic Expertise workshops that were geared towards technical service providers. We also created the first and only Midwest Organic Pork Conference, which was launched in 2019. And we do a variety on farm field days, webinars, which you're part of today, and have a variety of online resources. As far as our outreach, we connect with our target audience and the public to promote research, events, and resources that are beneficial to the organic community. We participate in conferences, trade shows, and community events. And our website, if you haven't already checked it out, is a wealth of information. We have a calendar that you can find various events. We have, of course, social media that you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram. And we have a wonderful listserv that we try to share with you information in regards to the organic community. As far as advocacy, we are very active in that. We try to advance state level leadership policies that are dedicated to funding and supporting Iowa's organic community. We develop relationships with policy leaders and mobilize advocates and stakeholders willing to advance organic interests. And we also have been meeting with Secretary of State, Secretary Naig. So a lot of exciting things happening as far as advocacy is concerned. When it comes to community, you guys are our community. So thank you for being part of our community. We try to encourage a culture of collaboration by connecting organic experts, stakeholders, and resources to strengthen Iowa's organic community. As far as some of the resources that we have on our website, one of the big ones is right here. It's called our Organic Resource Directory. This directory was developed to provide organic and transitioning farmers a variety of resources to help encourage widespread success. This particular document has over 900 businesses, to include nonprofits, educators, and service providers, and it serves as a valuable tool to achieve growth and continued success within the organic industry. We're actually in the process of updating this document, but you are welcome to go on our resource pages and download a PDF file of this document to just check it out. And then hopefully soon we'll be able to have an updated version too. As far as your support, becoming a member will be super helpful. Joining and supporting us, a nonprofit organization is definitely something we're very grateful for. If there is any interest to become a member or sponsor, definitely connect with either myself or our executive director, Roz. Both of our emails and phone number is listed right here. And this is all I have for you guys. Thank you for being here. And Amanda, if you want to go ahead and get started, you're welcome.
Thank you, Olga. Let me know when you can see my screen and I will share my PowerPoint presentation.
It looks like it's doing something. Okay, I can see your screen now.
All right, perfect. Well, I would just like to thank everybody for joining us today. FSA always enjoys the opportunity to do any kind of outreach that we can for our programs and those programs that help the producers that both FSA and Iowa Organic share. So thank you for being a part of this today. Today we are going to cover the Organic Cost Share program. You're going to hear me call that the OCCSP program for most of this presentation. So when you hear me say that, it's our Organic Certification Cost Share program. If you ever have any questions or you just need something good to read at night that'll help you go to sleep at night, we do have those options down below for you. The first is the One OCCSP handbook. It has all of our federal regulations and requirements for the program when we administer out of FSA here. So feel free to pull that up. And then we also have a OCCSP fact sheet. The most up-to-date one was published on April of 2021. And then always the FSA website, and just make sure that you do the .gov/organic, and you're going to be able to get a lot of good information there as well. Let me go to the next slide here. Apologize, my computer is not wanting to cooperate with me. There we go. So in FSA at that Iowa level, we have a team in the price support department that administers lots of programs that could be assistance to you guys outside of the OCCSP program. And I did want to talk briefly on every single one of those here. In the price support department, we have our chief, Luke Hawkins. We have a price support program specialist, Samantha Sherwood, and then I am also a price support program specialist here. Some of the programs that we administer are going to include the marketing assistance loans. Those are loans that if at the time of harvest you're not quite ready to sell, but you would like to use that grain or your crop as collateral, we would be able to go ahead and give you a loan on that until the point where that crop was sold. So you do have that option. We also do the farm stored facility loans. That is it offers a lot of different options on storage that you can put up for the crop that you're growing. Those are two programs that you would want to get in touch with your local county office to make sure that you are eligible for with the crops you grow and the operation that you have. We also have some disaster programs for our livestock producers and for our crop producers. For livestock, that would include people who have livestock that maybe died due to an eligible disaster event, or we lost grazing ground due to an eligible disaster event. Again, if you experience any of that hardship, please contact your local county office and we can determine if you are eligible based on the loss you had and the cause of loss. And then finally, we have our programs for our crops. That's going to include the organic cost share program that we're talking about today, but then it's also going to include a program called the Non-Insurable Disaster Assistance Program, or NAP. NAP is going to be provided to those producers who have a crop that they cannot insure through federal crop insurance. There are several different policies that you have to follow and guidelines. So again, always good to start at your local county office and we can find out if you are eligible based on the crops that you grow. But today we are going to go ahead and talk about the organic cost share program, as I said, and as Olga said earlier. So first, let's start with the history of that program. OCCSP was originally proposed in the 2001 Farm Bill, in 2001 for the 2002 Farm Bill, excuse me. And at that time, it provided $5 million in mandatory funds to launch the program. It was very successful, and because of that, they did reauthorize the program in 2018, 2014, and again in the 2018 Farm Bill. With the current Farm Bill here that we are running on, the 2018 Farm Bill, there is $24 million of OCCSP funding that we will utilize over the next 3 years. So a huge jump from when we initially started this up in 2002. So what's the purpose of OCCSP and why should we be using it? The purpose of OCCSP is to provide cost share assistance to producers and handlers who are obtaining organic certifications for the first time or renewing their previous certifications. Organic certifications must be obtained through certifying agents accredited by the USDA NOP. NOP, I'm sure all of you know, is the National Organics Program, and it is who is responsible for administering and enforcing the regulatory framework for organic producers. And their core mission is to uphold the USDA organic seal. So they just want to make sure that, you know, everybody who is certifying as organic is following those same guidelines. So where does our funding come from? In the state of Iowa, we have one source of funding, and that is the National OCCSP funds, and they are available to all, like I said, all of our Iowa producers, and it pays on the following scopes: crops, livestock, wild crops, handling, state and organic program fees. And then that's going to lead us to who is eligible on this program. And certified organic producers and handlers who have paid certification fees during the 2021 program year will be eligible if their fees were paid from October 1st, 2020 through September 30th, 2021. And this year, our application deadline is going to be November 1st, 2021. And then OCCSP funds are limited. So knowing that November 1st, 2021 deadline is important, because if funding does run out, then unfortunately we are not going to be able to pay you. So make sure that you get all of your bills that you have paid turned into your local county office as soon as possible, so we can guarantee that you get that funding. Funding is currently available right now. So if you take your paperwork in now and get it processed through, there shouldn't be any waiting. If you took your paperwork in a month or so ago, we haven't had funding available for a very long time. So we are just getting started getting payments out the door for this program. All right. So from there, let's talk about the requirements and what we need when you come and get your cost share. So our organic certification cost share funds are only available to certified organic producers and handlers, as we talked about before. And certification must be provided by a USDA accredited certifying agent. We covered that before as well. And FSA understands that certifications may not be updated each year. Because of this, staff will also be checking the AMS integrity database to ensure all organic information is up to date. So what that means is some of our certifiers, they do go out and along with their yearly review and making sure that everything is in compliance when they visit your farm or wherever they visit with you. They sometimes give a new certification and they sometimes don't. So we will take certifications that are dated 3 years ago, because if you look at your organic certification, that is something that doesn't have an expiration date on it. But to ensure that you are still in good standings, we will always go in and check the integrity database. So don't be surprised if we are pulling some extra information off the computer. That is just something that is required in our handbook. So if you have questions when you're in the county office, you can see that, then they can either provide that AMS integrity database website to you, or you can do a simple Google search and find that website as well and see what is showing up on there and what we're looking at. So if your operation is not currently certified organic and you would like to learn more about the certification process, you can visit the FSA-USDA.gov organic website, or you can always go ahead and reach out to Olga, and she, I'm sure, is going to have a plethora of information for you. So next, let's talk about the reimbursable costs that we can actually cover. Some of those things are going to include the application fees, inspection costs, fees related to agreements and arrangements, travel per diem for inspectors, user fees, sales assessments, postage, and an itemized invoice of certification expenses will be required when applying for OCCSP. We do have a couple of the people who are certified to give you guys organic certifications, that their bills, we do need to work with them a little bit more. So any kind of help that you guys can provide us in reminding those certifiers that we need these itemized out, that would be great. We are getting much better. We do see that they are much easier for us to read now, but any kind of help that we can get on that front to make it easier for our county offices would be appreciated. So some of our costs that are not reimbursable costs are going to be anything they pay on equipment, materials, supplies, late fees, inspections necessary to address a NOP regulation violations. So if you're in a violation of any kind, unfortunately, we aren't going to be able to cost share those additional inspections, but the traditional inspection, we will cost share. So let's move on to our next PowerPoint. And currently there are no transitional certification programs established under the Organic Food Production Act of 1990 or the NOP regulations in 7 CP Part 205. Therefore, transitional certification is not an eligible scope under OCCSP. So if you are still currently transitioning to become organic and you are looking to get cost share, unfortunately, that isn't something that we will be able to help you with. But remember to stay in contact with us once you get out of that transitional period, and we will be more than happy to walk you through the OCCSP cost share. So our reimbursements, the maximum cost share producer can receive per certification scope, which are those crops, livestock, wild crops, handling, and state organic program fees, is 50% of reimbursable costs not to exceed $500, and that should be per scope. So each scope you can get up to $500. and cost share will only be issued once a copy of a paid bill has been provided. So you need to make sure that you are making those payments up front, and then we will reimburse those costs to you. To be eligible for reimbursement, applicants must provide a complete application package to their local FSA office. So what is our complete packet going to look like? And when we talk a complete packet, FSA is going to walk you through this each year. But if you do have this list of things and you can follow it and you want to start the process at home, you certainly can Google the CCC 884. Our forms are updated a lot here at FSA. So if you do start this process and you get to the office and they do request that you update your 884, it might just be because we've moved to a new form and we want to make sure that we have everything up to date and payments are being processed correctly on the correct form. So that first item is going to be our CCC 884, and then we need a USDA organic certificate. Remember, that doesn't have to be one from this year. It just needs to be one your most current, and then we'll check that AMS integrity database while you're in the office or before we can complete processing the application. Again, we're going to need itemized invoices showing expenses paid to a certifying agent for certification services. Records showing an amount due that do not indicate the payment has been made by the producer or handler will not be accepted. So just make sure that you have a paid stamp on there, or if you want to bring in a copy of your bank statements showing that the check has cleared your account, we could utilize that as well. So next, to have a full packet is a complete application. Also is going to include additional documents, the additional documents that may be required. So the first time you come in, a lot of times we're going to ask for these. It's called an AD 2047. That's going to be how we establish you in our system. And then our SF 3881 is our direct deposit form. And if you do not want to set up direct deposit, we will need a hardship waiver provided by you, so we could send you out a paper check. And then our CCC 901, that's going to be if you are operating as an entity. This is going to let us know what your member structure looks like, because we do have to pay down to the warm body here at FSA. And that is all I have for you guys. It is, I know it's a lot of information in a short amount of time, but I would really like to have any kind of discussion with you guys. If you have any questions, any concerns about providing paid for bills, anything like that, the AMS integrity database, if you have questions, I am more than happy to help you guys through any of that today. So just holler.
So I have a question for you, Amanda. As far as the cost share amount, it used to be $750 at one point, and it was recently changed to $500, I believe, maybe last year or so. Do you know, is there any conversation about increasing the reimbursement to the initial $750 amount?
So we actually recently had a call and the same question was brought up. And what we have been told is that there are so many people being added to the organic sector every year that by lowering the amount, we are going to have be able to provide cost share to more people, since the organic market is growing so rapidly. So I don't see the cost share increasing, not with this farm bill at least.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hello, Amanda. Can you hear me? This is Lexi from MOSA.
Yes, I can.
Well, thanks for the presentation. I was really excited to get the invitation. I do the cost share here at Midwest Organic Services Association, and I work with a lot of FSA county offices in Iowa. And thank you so much for all the help you guys provide.
Yes.
Here's a question that I have, which I'm not quite sure to answer when clients ask me this question. The payments run through 9/30. What date, if they're just getting certified now and their application is in process and they probably won't get their certificate, say, until October 15th, are they eligible for this cost share cycle if their certificate is issued after the payment deadline?
So, and they're first time organic growers.
Yeah, or like, they're producers or handlers. This is their first year getting certified, but they may not be certified by September 30th.
Okay, so we do have late file provisions for OCCSP. I typically don't like to cover them in webinars like this just because I like to get everybody in timely. And with this program, it is a first come, first serve basis that we have. Oh, sorry, I thought my camera was on. I apologize. But they would be eligible as long as there's still funding available and if they bring in all of their other documentation. So have them bring in everything, provide a statement to the county office saying that they are still waiting on their organic certification from you. And then we will go ahead and hold on to all their other information. That way, because it will be a late file, we will know that they intended to have it filed with us since we have all of their bills and everything else on hand. And we're just waiting on that. Now, if funding runs out, unfortunately, we won't be able to pay them.
But if they are, well, what I think, and and thank you for that. I really appreciate your answer on that. But the question I really have is that say they're ready to apply and they can apply on November 1. Do they need to be certified by September 30th?
Yes, so they need to be, I'm sorry, I misunderstood that. Yes, they would need to be certified as organic for the current crop year that we're paying in.
So September 30th, not the application deadline, because I've heard it from other FSA offices in different places that so long as they're certified when they apply by that application deadline versus they must be certified within the cost share fiscal year.
Let me double check that, but I was under the impression that it was during the time frame that we are actually cost sharing bills, but I will I think I have your email address there at MOSA, and I will do some digging and I will send that to Olga and I will include you in on that email. Just so I can confirm. Yep, no problem.
I have a few right now who are like, they're white knuckling it, wanting to get their cost share, and we're rushing to get it done. And it's like, I can't tell you because I don't know,
Yeah. No, I'll reach out and I will get an email because that is definitely an area of the handbook that is open to interpretation. And I want to make sure that we get that correct out to you. So I will get that sent to you and Olga, and then that way we are all on the same page.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Are there any other questions from anyone else, you guys? And a handler, so the scope of a handler, Amanda, would be anyone that uses organic ingredients to create organic products.
Yeah, so handlers would be like our grocery stores that are organic people. So I know we have several organic, it's gonna escape me, co-ops that are out there that would be considered handlers. So things like that.
And then what about the scope of processor? Do you guys cover the scope of processor?
It's the same.
It's
Yep.
the same. Okay. Okay. All right. Perfect.
It's just how they, because it's processor and handler, so it's how they different. I guess it's a market thing.
Yeah.
So processor would be somebody that mixes together organic ingredients to create an organic product, correct?
It could be, yes, but I think that it's how they look at themselves maybe more. And Lexi, you probably know more about that than I do, so I appreciate you chiming in. But yeah, it's kind of interchangeable from everything I've heard on it.
Yeah, it's funny. I was just sort of shaking my head and saying, yes, handling can include processing and handling, and there can be overlap. And it's really basically you're taking something and you're translating it to something new. And it can include processing and it can include handling. You know, like coffee makers process the coffee and they handle the packaging. You know, so or you can actually handle products to move them from one market to the next. So handling pretty much covers the whole shemale. So when you see handling, it could mean processing and handling. Does that help?
Yes, thank you for the clarification.
Yeah, thanks, Pixie.
You're welcome, Amanda.
Yeah, so for those of you guys that haven't applied for their cost share, definitely get your paperwork in. As far as like a easy website for people to find their local county office, Amanda, do you have a link that you can share with everyone, or?
So if you just want to do a simple Google search of Iowa FSA, it's going to bring up our state page. And from there, it's going to bring up a map of the state of Iowa. And then you're going to be able to select what county you want information in. And that's going to give you the county executive director's information. So who is the manager of that office? And then it's also going to give you contact information on that page.
Perfect. So for example, the reason why I was asking about handling and processing is because I actually have my own organic business, and I consider myself a handler / processor. But basically for me as an organic business owner, all I need to do on my end is submit, my invoice for the organic certification. I certify my products through Oregon TILF, and their annual certification fee is over that $500. So basically, that is the one invoice that I can basically show that I've paid and submit along with all the rest of the documents to receive the cost share reimbursement. So it's pretty self-explanatory and very easy to do. Once you do it once, you know, you can it's kind of easy to get in a habit of doing it every year.
Yes, I would agree. And obviously we have a lot of people who we see annually, but if you guys have any neighbors that you know are working organically as well. I was at the farmers market in Des Moines this summer and was surprised in talking to several organic producers that were unaware of the program, which was disappointing because I do try and do outreach as often as possible. But any kind of outreach that you guys can do to kind of help your neighbors, please, we'd be more than happy to see more organic producers coming in our doors and providing them not only with the organic cost share program that we have, but also with all of our other programs that we have at FSA. I think that so many times people think that FSA is an agency that is for row crop farmers, and that is not the case. We provide programs for all farmers in all different spectrums of farming.
Yes, so for everybody that has joined us today, definitely stay tuned for more webinars coming up on additional FSA programs that Amanda discussed today, like the marketing assistance loans and the farm storage facility, as well as the NAP program, which is for non-insurable crops. But you guys, I believe if there's no additional questions, we can definitely wrap this up a little bit earlier today, which is totally fine. I will also be sending each one of you a quick survey. So if you could please respond, that would be greatly appreciated. We use the survey responses for grant reporting reporting purposes and things of that nature. In addition, with the survey link, I will also include the link to our YouTube page that will showcase this webinar on our YouTube. So if you have somebody that wanted to learn more about the organic cost share program but was unable to attend today, please share that link along with them so that they may learn. And then thank you everybody for joining today. And Amanda, thank you so much once again for sharing this information with our community and for providing this program for Iowa organic farmers.
Yes, thanks for having me.
All right, thanks guys. Have a good day.